Hey, what's up? And in today's video, we're going to be doing a follow-up to my video going over the time Scooby Doo met Batman. If you haven't seen that video, don't worry, it's not like this episode shares an overarching plot any deeper than Scooby Doo meeting Batman. Now, because I am who I am, I made sure to check like a hawk to see when this takes place on the Scooby Doo timeline. And I can say that this takes place after the previous episode because Shaggy asks Batman for a bat cookie, and he only learned about that from the last episode. I know, I really am out here doing the Lord's work by constructing an accurate timeline of the Scooby Doo franchise. While the other episode holds a soft spot in my heart, I can say that this episode is far more cohesive. Like, things just kinda happened in the last episode, especially at the end. But this episode's events follow a very cohesive structure. They go from location to location in a logical order of events, and they don't throw in some subterranean clown warehouse where everyone is chasing everyone and I get a headache just thinking about it. Anyway, I think that's enough rambling. Let's go ahead and get right into this episode.
Today, Scooby Doo meets Batman and Robin.
We open this episode with Scoob and the gang camping out in the woods. Shaggy has the munchies, so Daphne makes the deal that if they can get more firewood, she'd cook something up, and this leads to a series of events that ends with Shaggy and Scoob overhearing the Penguin and Joker.
We're almost there.
Zoinks! It's the Joker and Penguin! Bad guys!
While sneaking away, Shaggy gets a porcupine up the ass, and this causes the Joker and Penguin to notice the pair.
Aha! There are night crawlers in this forest. Look!
Campers? We can't have them snooping around.
While making a run for it, Shaggy and Scoob get caught in a cage and executed cartel style.
What did you say? Do you want me to slice you open like I did your friend? Shut the f*** up! Okay? I'm the one with the fucking dick!
Well, like it was nice knowing you, Scooby.
Nah, it's actually just Ratman and Robin.
Look, it's Ratman and Robin. You're right.
With everyone together, we get caught up on what the Penguin and Joker are doing and who the professor was.
The little man you saw was Professor Flaky, the famous inventor who disappeared mysteriously this morning from his home.
They devise a plan to spread out and try to find the fiend, so Batman and Robin take off in the Batcopter, and the mystery team head for a cave without putting out their campfire and pissing off Smokey the Bear. While driving down the road, the mystery team gets stopped by a tree in the road, but after going to move it, Fred learns that it's hollow, and we get our first creature reveal. Also, everyone on the mystery team acts like they just took 4 hits of acid at a Grateful Dead concert.
A dryad, a tree spirit. They live in the forests.
But it can't be real. Dryads exist only in myths and fairy tales like elves and trolls.
That must be a figment of our imagination.
Uh-oh. Right now, that figment is in the middle of the road.
Like, Fred just straight up tries to murder Scoob, and when the rest of the gang ask what the noise was, Fred talks about voices in his head.
What was that?
It's the dryad. He's trying to scare us. Quick, into the mystery machine.
Luckily, Shaggy is a good friend, so he stays behind to look for Scoob while Fred goes looking for some strange. While Shaggy is trying to help Scoob out of the water, the Joker jump scares them, and we cut to Fred, Daphne, and Velma, who are signaling Batman to help them because their trip is peaking and they just can't deal with it right now.
A cave? A log in the road? A so-called dryad? And now Shaggy and Scooby are missing, eh?
Yeah, that's right.
Batman tells them to look for the cave, and he'll look for Shaggy and Scoob in the Batcopter.
We Cape Crusaders always give top priority to the safety of a boy and his dog.
We then get to see the Penguin's ghoul suit for this episode with his redneck troll getup. Because they're already tripping pretty hard at this point, the group don't notice the entire bridge rotating and drive all the way back to their campsite before realizing they went the wrong way. After getting the help of Batman again, he tells the group to go over the bridge and he'll watch over them with his Batcopter. Before we can see how this turns out, we get to see the Joker and Penguin waxing poetical under the bridge.
Oh, I wish I could see the faces of those foolish fledglings when they find they've been fooled by foul play. Very good, jolly jester.
Shaggy and Scoob make it to the bridge before Fred can, and we see just how fried Shaggy is when he says this.
Maybe you're right. If this is a toll bridge, it'd be against the law to go through without paying.
Now, Shaggy and Scoob, I can understand not noticing the bridge rotating, but what I can't understand is why the Penguin chose to do this very offensive stereotype to scare the stoner and his dog. Batman notices the tomfoolery happening and swoops in to save the day, but leaves before the bridge is fixed, so Scoob and Shaggy have to fix the bridge before Fred drives the van off a cliff.
Scoob, this is no time to fool around with the wheels. They're gonna go into the river.
With the mystery team reunited, we cut to see Batman chasing down the Joker and Penguin, and while remembering that he left Fred high and dry, the Joker and Penguin somehow just get away. Catching back up to the mystery team, they make it to the cave and all proceed to shit on Shaggy and his foolish ideas of what could and couldn't be a hideout.
Jeepers, Shaggy, you call this a hideout?
No, I call it a cave.
Bitch!
It's just a little hole in the cliff. No concealed entrance, nothing.
Bitch!
The girls are right, Shag. Nobody in his right mind would use this as a secret hideout.
I would.
Like I said, nobody in his right mind.
Snake, are you okay? Snake? Snake!
While walking out of the cave, Shaggy trips over a rock and gets caught in the classic rotating door, and Scoob genuinely starts to lose his shit.
I've written another film, and it's even sadder than Oscar Gold. It's 6 hours of a baby chimp trying to revive its dead mother.
After slipping Scoob a Scooby snack, they all take turns tripping over the rock and falling through the rotating door, finding an underground cavern.
Like, wow!
Will you look at that?
It's a half-pint film, bitch!
After some back and forth, we get our typical split of Scoob and Shaggy staying behind and Fred leaving to look for some strange. We then cut to see the Joker interrogating the professor on what his new invention is.
It's not for sale. Besides, what would you do with a sighing flute?
A sighing flute?
A flying suit.
Also, get used to this professor's little quirk because it's not going anywhere. After not getting any answers, the Joker ups the interrogation tactics and gets the professor to spill the beans.
So much for finesse. Tell us where it is or else.
Never start with the head. The victim gets all fuzzy.
Speaking of beans, after Joker and Penguin leave, we see the professor trying to find the door's G-spot so he can escape.
Oh, where's that spot?
Honestly,
and paid in full.
I'll have to go with Friday and Belly just because Belly has that scene of that dude eating that banana really awkwardly.
But like, I mean, that makes you sound kind of sus.
Okay. Well, no, it is. He looks like a discount Andre 3000, and he's like,
honorable mention,
I don't like that.
Okay, you're throwing it in there as a wild card because I mean, okay, so are we still only keeping two?
We come back to Batman and Robin looking for the Joker and Penguin, and Batman basically says that the Joker is worse than Satan.
Is it possible they were real spirits?
No chance, Robin. I wish they were. Real spirits couldn't possibly be as evil as Penguin and Joker.
After noticing a manhole, the dynamic duo start to make their way through the cave system. Catching back up with the mystery team, we see that the Joker and Penguin have found them, and they proceed to use a mechanical bat to mess with the 35-year-old teenagers.
He's a long way and pissed off Puerto Rican.
We get a typical Scooby Doo chase with all the different location swappings and hijinks, but while this is going on, the Joker and Penguin shift their attention to Shaggy and Scoob. Shaggy is too focused on the property value, so he doesn't notice the door closing behind him, which causes the Joker to don a ghost costume.
Like, I guess that little boat is for fishing. But it's so dark out there, how can the fish see the worms?
Away! Away! Or you'll meet your doom. Blah, 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 blah.
You a comedian, asshole?
This absolutely terrifying performance causes Shaggy to row so hard he breaks the oars, and while drifting away, they see a Mountain Dew ghost that starts to chase them in the water. While celebrating his victory, Shaggy gets hit with the touch of death, and the professor, along with Scoob, drags Shaggy's body away to make it look like an overdose, Breaking Bad style. Cutting back to the mechanical bat, we see it learning how to use weapons, which is actually terrifying. It gets taken out with a wombo combo of batarangs, but this big bat was chasing them with knives and shit for like 15 minutes straight. I don't know what their routine is, but the mystery team has great cardio. The mystery team and the dynamic duo are headed back to get Shaggy, and this causes the Joker and Penguin to make an escape through the elevator. You know, the standard cave elevator. They all have them. You just gotta know where to look. The group hear voices, so they hide, but it turns out that it's just Shaggy and company, so Scoob and Shaggy just casually break the laws of physics.
Nobody's here. Like wrong again.
Shag, Scoob, it's us.
Huh? Oh!
With everyone reunited, we learn that the professor gave the fiends the wrong address, so all they need to do is go to the right place and secure the suit. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention it, but the invention is a flying suit, and the Joker and Penguin want it so they can rob banks and fly away. We get more of the professor's fun quirk before cutting to the rubber factory, which is full of licensed Hanna-Barbera characters.
Giant Batman and Robin balloons.
And Yogi Bear and Fred Flintstone and Santa Claus.
Wow, like you'd have to be a pretty tall kid to play with those balloons.
We get to see some mind games take place as Shaggy and Scoob pick where they want to be.
Joker and Penguin may land on the roof and enter through the skylight.
Like I think you misunderstood me, Fred. Scooby and I would rather stay out here in the yard.
Jeepers.
We cut to see Shaggy and Scoob complaining about how hungry they are, and in this delusional state of LSD-induced hunger, they start eating tires. After hearing the helicopter pulling up, Scoob tries to get Fred's attention by throwing tires at the laboratory window. We then hear the loudest whispering imaginable before cutting to see the Joker and Penguin making their way through the factory. Words cannot describe this next scene, so I'll just play it for you.
What's that? Oh, it's just a tire rolling towards us. Step aside, Penguin. The feeble-minded fools. Do they think a rolling tire can upset us?
The Joker and Penguin steal a forklift, and Fred is stuck in a barrel of rubber, so Velma and Daphne take up arms and start to go home alone on the Joker and Penguin. This is when Batman and Robin finally show up, and Shaggy fills them in on what's been happening.
Who's in the lab? Professor Flanky and the kids. The bad guys went into the factory to sneak up a rear staircase, no doubt.
An excellent deduction, Robin.
You know, for this being Batman meets Scooby Doo, Batman seems to not really be in this episode. Like, I'm not talking about screen time, I'm talking about Batman sounding like he's just phoning it in and is barely even present. It's like he just got dumped and is trying to dive into his work to distract him, but it's not really working. While Shaggy and Scoob are walking, we hear Shaggy commenting on the status quo before doing a comedy routine with Scoob.
Where are they gonna land? Roof! Roof! Gee, Scoob, like I was just asking a simple question. You don't have to bark at me.
The professor, getting a contact high from being around the mystery team, starts to get paranoid and sees shadow people that cause him to throw the suit out of the window and right onto Scoobert. This leads to a sequence of Scooby flying around in the suit, the professor trying to tell him how to operate the suit, Batman trying to catch him, and Shaggy f***ing around on top of a balloon. The Penguin tries to javelin his umbrella into the flying suit, but it ends up hitting the balloon Shaggy is on, sending him flying around.
My old college javelin. Remember?
Eventually, Shaggy and Scoob are saved, and while the Joker and Penguin are making a run for it, they get caught by the Batman balloon. During this wrap-up, we see that everyone involved is walking away with brain damage of some sort. I mean, the mystery team is obviously fried, and the professor is going through his own thing, but the Joker genuinely looks like he lost over 50% of his brain cells in his interaction with the balloon. The lights are on, but I don't think anyone's home.
This cornball put me behind the 8 ball. You head.
We end this episode with Scooby flying around, now mastering the suit. If I were asked which episode I thought was the better between the two, I would honestly have to say this one. I loved the other one mostly because of childhood nostalgia, and if I were to actually take a critical eye at these episodes, I would have to say that this one has a better flow, and the jokes are just as good, if not sometimes better. I don't know if it's just something about the Penguin's troll performance, but it's going to be with me forever now. Really though, you can't go wrong with either one of these TV movies if you're looking to watch some Scooby Doo or lesser Batman appearances. If you want to see more Scooby Doo content, let me know in the comments. There's the original and remake of Zombie Island, one of my personal favorites, Scooby Doo and the Loch Ness Monster, or another really good one is Scooby Doo Camp Scare. I'm getting carried away now, but Scooby Doo was one of my childhood staples, so if anyone would want to listen to me rant about it for 45 minutes, I would just be delighted. As far as what video is coming out next, I started working on a video talking about the first Scary Movie and why it's the best parody movie, but I got so burnt out on that I started working on this video, so who knows when that'll come out. But there also is my series going over the Death Note anime and manga and talking about the differences between the two. I've also thought about getting back into streaming, so if you'd want to know when I go live, follow me on Instagram at PimTurkey69. If you want to show your support and get behind the scenes updates, follow me on Patreon. And if you want to see more of me, check out the podcast I co-host with Arnie King called Henny for Your Thoughts. We upload new episodes every 2 weeks. Until next time, later.